Hello, it's Phil. It is Saturday, June 1st, 2023, and it is 10:24 a.m. in the morning. And I went out and went to Walmart and I got my knucklehead some of the expensive Fancy Feast food that she never had a problem with, and hopefully she'll start feeling better. I went and got a bunch of stuff from my car because I got to do some maintenance. I got to change the air filter. I got to change the cabin air filter. I got to change the oil in it. Sometime in the next couple of weeks here, I got to get 2 brand new tires for the back of it, which I'm actually I may do it today. I'm gonna rotate the back tires to the front, and then have the new tires on the front. I would normally get 4 tires, but for some weird reason it's worked out where 2 of my tires look almost new, so I'm gonna get my mileage out of them, you know. But 2 reasons I made this video today is, one is I want to talk about fasting, and 2 is I want to talk about somebody that a wonderful old gentleman that I met at Charlestown on Thursday night. And he's not unique. Over the decades of going to Charlestown, I've met a few people like him, and I just want to hit on some of the things that he's going through and that we don't ever want to deal with. Okay? We're aiming to not be where he is right now. So, first off, let me address the fast. It's the first, and I made a promise to myself. And this was derived from a comment that a young lady made. Well, someone made it. I'm assuming by her name she was a woman. And I'm assuming by the way she talked that she was probably between 20 and 45 or 50-year-old woman. But in any case, it doesn't matter. What she said was, I like doing fasts. They're really helping me. But what I normally do is I do my fast at the beginning of the month. And what it does is it registers in your mind that, okay, it's time for us to get real and to do what's necessary for our body and to do a 7-day fast. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means that you start at midnight on the 1st and then you end at midnight beginning into the 8th. And then what you do is you have whatever fast that you choose to take. Now, the best fast that I know of is a all water fast. You know, just drinking water, okay? Because what it does is it challenges your body to go inside of your body, and there's a thing called autophagy, where your body goes into your body and actually finds damage and collects it. And it's not collecting it to repair your body, it's collecting it to use it as fuel. It's just genius. And what it does, as it does this, it actually does in some ways repair your body, specifically if you have arthritis. This is one of the very best ways to treat arthritis. If you have swollen joints, if your knees hurt, if your ankles hurt, if your hands hurt. What this will do, now to get to this autophagy part, you have to go through several days of fasting. You have to get the body to click over to the autophagy part. And this is where I've kind of screwed myself over, because one of the things, it's a cheat, I guess, but one of the things I've used to manage my energy level during the fast is to drink fruit juices. And if you've ever watched this Dr. Jemnadez on YouTube, he absolutely despises fruit juices. He says that fruit juices are the absolute antithesis of healthy fruit consumption, because if you actually eat an orange, you're eating the fiber that's in the orange. What that does is that slows down the sugar rise in your blood. If you eat the whole apple, the fiber in the apple slows down the whole rise of sugar in your blood. Now, he says you're not supposed to eat. Nobody, he likes to do equivalencies where he talks about, well, if you are drinking, say, a 20-ounce glass of apple juice, you're consuming like 14 apples. The sugar in 14 apples, he says, would you do that? It's the same thing when you're drinking, like I drink grape juice. And he says, when you're drinking grape juice, if you drink like a 16-ounce glass of grapes, you're eating 40 or 50 grapes at one sitting. Would you sit down? And now the thing is, eating the 40 or 50 grapes would be healthier for you than drinking the grapefruit juice, because you're getting whatever fiber is in the grape to go with the sugar that's in the grape. So that's what his point was. But I've been cheating, and it's actually helped me get through the fast. One of the cheats I use is Swiss Miss hot chocolate that has real sugar in it. And I'm very specific when I say this, because they sell Swiss Miss with aspartame in it. And I cannot express enough how poisonous aspartame is. They also sell, Nestle also sells a very cheap hot chocolate. It's very cheap. And they don't say anything about this on the front of the box, but if you read the ingredients list in the back, it has sucralose in it. Sucralose is very poisonous to your body. It is absolutely horrendous on your stomach and intestines. So please, if you're going to get something that's a mix, make sure it has cane sugar in it. Try to stay away from anything that has high fructose corn syrup in it, because that's also bad. High fructose corn syrup is very bad on your liver, because your liver stores that crap in there right away. And it's a way to get fatty liver, which is it sounds innocuous, it sounds innocent, but it's actually the end of the life of your liver, and you don't want that to ever happen. You'll get enough fatty substances in your liver just by eating your foods, and God forbid you should have a lifetime of heavy drinking, because alcohol is converted into a form of sugar that the liver, it just obliterates the liver. So these are the things that fasting can help solve, and that's why I just really am grateful to Dr. Jemnadez on YouTube, and a doctor named Sten Ekberg. Now, Dr. Jemnadez is a genuine heart surgeon, okay? And he actually sees patients, and he's seen the devastation that the Western diet does to people, and what Western medicine, the use of just medicines, does to people. And it really offends him when there is something as wonderful as fasting that can do so many great things for you. And he uses fasting in his practice for his patients, because the thing that irritates me most is that most people who become doctors want to see their patients get better. I mean, that's why they got into the profession. Unfortunately, the reality of Western medicine is most doctors spend their entire life dodging a lawsuit. And unfortunately, it is from the expectation that every doctor will never make a mistake. And unfortunately, the reality of human existence is the only way we learn is when we make a mistake. It's when we do something that doesn't work out exactly right, and we go, okay, well, that's not something we ever want to attempt again. And it was done, whatever we did was done in the best interest of someone else, but it just didn't work for some reason. But in the medical profession, it gets you sued. So a lot of doctors join HMOs, because HMOs provide a blanket protection of liability from being sued. But in order to be protected under that blanket liability of coverage, the HMO determines how the doctor will treat every patient. And unfortunately, a lot of HMOs, which are for-profit companies, like to promote the pharmaceutical company's products within their treatment protocols, regardless of whether the patient needs that or not. And unfortunately, what that does is it creates a situation where you are, the first thing you're thinking about is, well, let's give the patient a prescription, instead of let's take a look at what the patient's eating. Let's take a look at how the patient's is the patient sedentary? Is the patient does the patient have a long history of drinking alcohol or eating horrendously sugary? Do they have a high sugar diet? Do they drink sodas? Sodas. Let me be clear about this. There is no soda that's healthy. Okay? Let's just put that out the window. There is no soda that's healthy. Now my cat is jumping around like she hasn't jumped around in a long time. So it's pretty clear to me that she feels better. Thank you, Lord. I appreciate that. But there's no soda that's healthy. Diet Pepsi and Diet Coke are poison. They're poison. Okay? The aspartame that's in them is poison. The formulation of the acid that's in them, combined with the they used to use, in some Pepsis, they used to use sucralose. Well, sucralose is just like pouring pesticide into your stomach and your intestines. And there are healthy organisms that live inside your body that help you, assist you in digesting your food. Now, I just saw a guy named Pottinger's Human, excuse me, on YouTube, Pottinger's Human, and this young man is very smart, and he is very invested in examining the trends in current human health care promotion, because there's a lot of different ways you can go with your health, okay? And a lot of them become a kind of a religion, where no, this is the way it is and nothing else is different. Well, this is the thing that's happened with gut bacteria, according to him. And he says that promoting bacteria inside your insides is not really a healthy thing to do, that you don't really want to promote bacteria to grow inside you, because what happens is the bacteria can actually overwhelm the inside of your body and kill you. And he's making a pretty good point, because this whole idea of you taking bacteria and ingesting it, well, the problem with that is you choosing with your brain what bacteria is to promote. Your brain doesn't really understand what your body needs, and if you just eat the right foods, you will naturally promote the healthy bacteria you're seeking to create. It's better to eat a natural food that has the ability to promote those bacteria in your insides than it is to take a pill that says, hey, this is a probiotic, and this has a bunch of bacteria in it, and you stick it down inside your insides, but guess what? That probiotic isn't exactly what you were looking for. Now, I ran into this because when my wife was sick and I was trying everything in the world, because every time the Western medicine, they tried to put her on a prescription, there were so many horrendous side effects that it destroyed her quality of life. It actually made her not want to survive. That's what the medicine did to her. It made her so miserable that she didn't want to survive. And I was like going, how in the blazes how is this helping my wife? You're giving her something that's making her so sick and feel so bad that she doesn't want to live. So, anyway, one of the things that I wanted to get into with her was when the probiotics came out. I was like going, well, it's been established that aspartame was bad for your insides, that it was bad for your bacteria. But my wife was absolutely addicted to Diet Pepsi. She loved it. And she not only loved it, she loved Pepsi from the time she was a baby. Her mother used to feed her Pepsi as a child, to keep her happy. And I mean, that's part of the reason she became a diabetic, I have no doubt. But all through her life, my wife drank Pepsi. And when Diet Pepsi came available, and they lied to us, and they lied. They lied to us, oh, this is the healthy alternative to Pepsi. No, it's not. Aspartame is a damn poison. They never told us. They never told us. But neither here nor there. The point I'm trying to make is, when the probiotics came out, I first tried them on myself. And it was an uncomfortable reaction. Now, there's different probiotics you can try. And this shit was not cheap. I mean, you're talking $40 for a bottle of pills. And to take, the prescribed dose and to get uncomfortable feelings inside your body, and you're like going, this is not feeling right. So I never put my wife through that. I asked her about it. She said, I think she said, no, I don't think I'll try that. And I always respected my wife. I never tried to force her to do something. I always tried to reason with her. And she was very reasonable. She's a very smart woman. Very smart. And very hardworking and very dedicated to her job and very dedicated to getting things done. So anyway, so Pottinger's Human, the guy that calls himself Pottinger's Human on YouTube, said that, the promotion of bacteria through artificial means is kind of not very smart. That if you're going to promote your bacteria, do it through your diet. And he also is somebody like Dr. Jemnadez that promotes fasting. And he like Dr. Jemnadez and Dr. Sten Ekberg, provides, what you call the receipts. He provides the scientific information that backs up what fasting does for your body. Dr. Sten Ekberg, now Pottinger's Human, is unlike Dr. Jemnadez, who is a genuine doctor, and Dr. Sten Ekberg, who is a nutritional specialist, a former Olympian athlete, and who probably has a doctorate in nutrition. Pottinger's Human is a person who has a high degree of education and a high degree of speciality in a lot of fields, but he's not been clear about what his specialities are. But reading listening to his videos and extracting the information that he exposes you to. Now, this is something I want to tell everybody. You never ever take anyone's information as gospel. Don't take mine. Don't take Pottinger's Human. Don't take Dr. Sten Ekberg, and don't take Dr. Jemnadez. You listen to what they tell you. You incorporate it into what you're thinking. When you start seeing similar pathways of information, what you want to do is you want to continue your examination of the topic from other sources. And generally, I can see that fasting. I will say for myself that fasting has been very beneficial, especially in my stomach and my gut, with eliminating irritable bowel syndrome, eliminating pain in my gut. Um, Normally, it really helps my vision. It helps clear my thinking up. Um, like I said, God, it's been about, I guess, 3 months ago. I was on a fast and I was driving in my car, and I could not believe how clear everything looked. And it was a beautiful sunny day. Then I got thinking about it, because it's something you don't think about. Your brain, if your body's doing everything okay, your brain never goes, "Wow, man, I feel great." Your brain just says, "Okay, well, the brain's doing its thing and the body's working good." But I got thinking about it. I said, "You know what? I feel pretty damn good." And this was like in the third day of a fast. And then I tried to think back to how long ago it's been that I felt this good. And it was actually literally, I want to say at least 10 years that I had actually been that comfortable with no pain, and my eyes were good, and my thinking was clear. That was very strange. It was almost a high. So anyway, there's that. So fasting's a real good thing. Please check out Dr. Jim Nadez, Dr. Sten Ekberg, and actually this young man whose name is Pottinger's Human. And all three of these people bring the information. They don't just tell you like I tell you. I've done fasting, and it's been very beneficial to me. And I will continue to do fasting for the rest of my life, because I don't want to end up like not young man, like the old man that I was playing slots next to on Thursday. And I didn't get his name. This is the nature of slot players, that when you're involved in playing slot machines, the world closes up around you as a general rule. If you're a long-time slot machine, now if you're just a casual slot machine user and you're with people that you're sharing it with, you know what? That's actually the most wonderful way to play slots. And if you go with like $50 and they go with $50, and everybody has fun, and maybe you hit a jackpot and maybe you don't, but everybody has fun. Every casino has food places. They have drinks you can buy. So if you like to have a beer, you can get a beer. If you like a mixed drink, they bring you mixed drinks. Now you got to pay for them. So it's a good place to do everything bad together with your friends. So, but if you're a long-time slot machine player and you get into this and it's very bad, it's just very bad, because the number one thing about slot machines where you know you're in trouble is this one phrase, if it pops into your head: if I just spend a little bit more money, I'll win back what I lost. That is the fundamental way that all casinos stay in business. Is as soon as the slot machine player says, if I bet a little bit more money, I'll get back what I lost. Not only will I get back what I lost, but you see that big number over top of the slot machine? I'm going to win that. That $15,345 jackpot. If I just put another $100 in this slot machine, somewhere in those rolls that I make is going to be a jackpot. Boy, my cat feels so much better. She did not like those friskies. Thank you, God. I appreciate that. Okay, I get it. Okay. No more friskies. I might even try the iams wet food too, because iams is a brand that's really trying to push pet health. They say they're pushing pet health. I don't trust any of these companies. I've actually thought about, you know what? If I'm going to feed my cat, what I'm going to do is go buy a bunch of chicken breasts, or actually even chicken thighs and wings or whatever, and I'll cook it. I'll bake it in the oven, and I'll pick the chicken off, and I'll get a jar of chicken gravy, and I'll pour it in the chicken, and I'll put it in the refrigerator. And when I go to feed her, I'll just feed her that, which is just plain baked chicken and the fat that's in the chicken gravy. You know, and if I want to, I'll take some green beans, and I'll cut the green beans. You know, I'll cook them obviously, but I'll cut the green beans into real tiny pieces, and I'll mix it into the chicken gravy, and I'll feed her that. Because as far as I know, other than there's a very specialized pet food that's coming out now that's fresh pet food, which scares me. Boy, she is a bundle of energy. That is amazing. That is amazing. What a difference. Thank you, Lord. But these fresh pet foods, they're held in refrigeration, and they scare me because all pet food comes from waste human food, as far as I know. And that's kind of dangerous, because if you've ever seen how butchering is done, it's not done in air-conditioned buildings, as a general rule. Some of it's done in some pretty awful situations, and the way the meat byproduct is collected will just make you vomit. It'll just make you vomit. And that's what they put those in the vats, and then they don't refrigerate it. They just put it in the vats. They may treat it with a protective agent so that bacteria can't eat it before they get the chance to process it into protein to put into your pet food. So that's one of the reasons why I've never tried to buy the cheapest food. I've always tried to buy a name brand food, because there was a thing that happened about 20 years ago, and one of the things that's put into pet food, and also into, unfortunately, baby food, is milk powder as protein. And unfortunately, in China, just to show you how the communist government, if you're a member of the Communist Party, you can get away with things. They do a test that determines the protein level of milk powder. And someone found out if you put, I think it was dried antifreeze. If you dry antifreeze and you put it into this milk powder, you get a higher level of protein return in the test. So you can actually use half the milk powder in the powder and put something else in it, like flour or something, and you'll get a return. You'll actually use half the milk protein, and you can cheat the test. Well, unfortunately in China, what this did was it killed a lot of babies, because mothers was using the milk powder in their baby formula, and their children, their babies, were dying. And the Communist Party went back through this, and they found these people who did this, and they killed them. Which, you know what? I'm not a fan of the Communist Party, but in this case, I'm glad you did that. But the side effect of this milk protein situation was that also found its way into pet foods. And what it did was it destroyed the liver and kidneys of pets across the whole United States. It killed them. I actually think, I think predominantly that product was in dry cat food. And I actually think Purina may have got some of that powder in their food. Because I had some cats that had some really interesting health problems during that time, and it affected them their whole life. So anyway, my point is that, you know, the only way you can be sure what your pet's getting to eat is to cook it yourself. I mean, honestly, they're biological creatures like we are. They eat the same foods that we would eat in the fields. You know, meat, carrion, stuff like that. Hopefully we're not going to be eating steaming roadkill. I hope it doesn't get to that point, but with the way the government's going, who knows. But I wanted to get back to this wonderful old man that was sitting next to me, and I wanted to say about the this closed-in world that we're in, where we, you know, we just, the slot machine person just concentrates on the interaction. You're pushing the button, and you are so invested in that endorphin rush, that when that reel spins and then it pops up and it just teases you. And what it does, it shoots a chemical into your brain. And that you get addicted to that chemical. You don't necessarily get addicted to the winning. You get addicted to the experience of the chemical constantly being pumped into your head. So you get sort of locked into this thing. Well, I was sitting next to this old gentleman, and sitting next to him was this old woman, and boy, she was awesome. She was like the classic. I don't know if you've ever seen these old Disney cartoons, that they're not too old, but they have this character that's an old woman that wears these sort of glasses like this, and she's sort of a curmudgeon, you know, and she's not very vocal, but when she's vocal, she's kind of bitter and sort of right to the point, you know, and she doesn't take any grief. Well, this lady that was sitting next to this old gentleman I was playing, she reminded me of that kind of wonderful person, you know, just a character, right? She wasn't saying anything. She was just playing her slot machine, but boy, she was nailing it. And she was varying her bets. The machine we was on, the bets would go all the way from 50 cents to $5. And she was going all over the bet. And she hit a good one at $5. I think she hit like $1,475, okay? Well, the gentleman that was sitting next to me had never played the machine that we were playing. The machine we were playing is a slot machine. It's a video slot, because they all are now pretty much. But it was a video slot that has Arabic